David here with Figboot on Pens, back again with another pen review. Today I have for you the latest seasonal release from Tactile Turn. While I typically review fountain pens, I'm not a fountain pen snob. Ballpoints and roller balls and gel pens definitely have their purpose, and there are many that I use a great deal. Seasonal releases is a venture Tactile Turn started almost a year ago and has been very successful for them. It helps that each pen that they've released in the series is a real banger. Now, in regard to their seasonal releases, these are not limited editions. Well, they kind of are, but they kind of are not. Rather than a limited number of pens, they are only available for a set period of time, typically around 2 months. They have stock on hand and will continue making these pens for as many orders as they receive over that period of time. And then the pen will be retired and not produced again. The first seasonal release was launched in the winter of 2020 and was called the Safety First. Then in the spring of 2021 there was the Overlander, and then their summer release this year was the Nautilus, which I previously reviewed and really enjoy. Now, you will notice that each of the previous seasonal releases were variation of Tactile Turn's side-click model, but the latest release is something a bit different and is called the Stealth. What I'm going to do today is go over the parts and features of the Stealth, talk about what I care for and what I don't care for about it. I'll show some measurements, size comparisons, and provide a writing sample. Thanks go out to the good folks at Tactile Turn for providing this pen for review. So, what does the Stealth look like? It arrives in this box right here. Along with the pen, there is this cool metal card. It has some information about the inspiration behind the pen. I'll give you a closer look at this during the writing sample, but it's a very cool addition. Much cooler than a little paper manual. The drawer slides out, and inside we have a pen. This is the Tactile Turn Stealth. The company says the pen was inspired by the balance between impressive achievements in aviation technology and the innovations behind remaining undetected and flying under the radar. It is available in 3 different sizes. There is the standard, which is 5.6 inches in length. There is the short, which is 5.1 inches. And then there is the mini, which comes in at 4.4 inches. The pen is made from titanium and has a very tough black DLC coating on the body and clip. DLC stands for diamond-like carbon. It's a class of carbon material which has some of the very same properties and hardness of diamonds, which when you are looking to make a durable coating for a pen is a good thing. Let's start by taking a look at the top of the pen. The finial contains something really cool. Embedded in the top is a tritium gas tube. Tritium is a radioactive isotope of hydrogen. It's an element which is used in such things as emergency exit lights to provide illumination when there's no power, or even things like wristwatches or gun scopes. So this is not glow in the dark, it emits light, and is a reliable source of low-intensity light which should last for over 10 years. It's rather hard to get a picture to focus in the dark, but this is what it looks like. I'll try showing it live during the writing sample. And even though this material contained within is radioactive, it poses no harm to humans, unless you ingest it. So this is not a pen that you want to gnaw on the end of. Not that you should be doing that anyways. Having the tritium insert is an additional option for this pen, which you can include. Tactile Turn had originally estimated about 25% of customers would go for this option, but come to find out with initial sales, about 75% of customers so far have chosen it, which left the company to scramble a bit in order to have enough supply. But they were able to quickly acquire additional inventory of the capsules. Then we have the clip, which is pretty cool in and of itself. On the clip is a digital camo multi-depth engraving. At the bottom is a deeper engraving of a radar screen. I feel it makes for a really interesting looking combination. Then, on the underside of the clip, we have something I've always really liked about Tactile Turn pens. It's engraved with the company name as well as the year the pen was produced. I like that the date is rather hidden. You might say it is being a bit stealth. But I've always liked pens that contain some kind of way to date it in a subtle way, like a cryptic marking or a code that you need to decode. Kind of like on a Parker Vacuumatic as well, or in the case of the Stealth, on the underside of the clip. Next to the clip is an important part of the pen, which is the bolt action mechanism. The bolt is treated with Cerakote. Cerakote is a thin coating of ceramic. It is chemical and temperature and scratch resistant. I think the choice of adding a pop of color to this pen on the finial as well as the bolt was a good one. I think it adds to the overall sharp looks of this pen. I mentioned it earlier, but the first 3 seasonal releases were variation on Tactile Turn's side click model. With this release, they're mixing things up with the bolt action. It's their intention to offer different types of models in these seasonal releases. It just happened that the first 3 were the same, but now they're mixing things up a bit. The bolt operates smoothly. There is a bit of tension in the mechanism, and whenever I'm using it, I do find myself playing with the bolt, kind of like a fidget toy. A distinctive feature of most Tactile Turn pens is the exterior groove, which extends the length of the barrel. I say groove because it's just that. It is a single groove, like on a record. It helps provide a very solid grip when you're using this pen. And I really like the feeling of it against the side of my palm when I'm writing. Besides playing with the bolt, I do find myself rubbing a finger or a thumb across the barrel when it's in my hand. It's a cool and unique tactile feeling. Also, the grooves do an excellent job of hiding the transition from the barrel to the section. It makes the transition virtually invisible. And then this is what the refill looks like when it is extended. This standard model comes with a Pilot G2 0.7mm refill, which is a gel ink. The short model comes with a Schmidt EasyFlow 9000 in medium, and then the mini comes with a mini version of the same Pilot G2 refill. These pens are only available on the Tactile Turn website. I'll put a link in the notes below. The price for all 3 sizes is $179, and if you would care for the Tritium finial, that is an additional $50. As I previously mentioned, it will be available for a limited time. I believe sales end on December 31st, and then after that, they will be gone forever. I really like the color scheme and theme of this pen. It's unique and it's very well made, and it's something that I've enjoyed testing out. We all need a non-fountain pen from time to time, and the Tactile Turn Stealth is well worth checking out. Okay, now it is time for some measurements, size comparisons, and a writing sample. So here we go with some size comparisons for the Tactile Turn Stealth. Let's just give you another close-up look at that. That is pretty cool. And then this is the tritium end. Let's go ahead and turn out the lights and then see if we can get a good look at this tritium. This is what it looks like. Let's see if we can get the camera to focus. Yeah, the camera is not liking to focus in the dark, but you can see that it is not glowing in the dark. It is actually emitting light. In regard to some measurements, I said it was 5.6 inches, which equates to about 141 millimeters. And then in regard to weight, it is about 35 grams. Okay, now for some size comparisons. This is what it looks like with the Nautilus, which was their previous seasonal release. And then this is another Tactile Turn pen. This is the Shaker. They came out with a mover and a shaker, and the shaker is the smaller one, and the mover is slightly longer. And then here is another bolt action pen. This is one of my favorites from Tactile Turn because it's made out of Damascus steel, and the patterning on the steel is just really, really cool. And that's what it looks like in comparison to the Stealth. And in regard to some fountain pens, this is what it compares to in regard to the Tactile Turn Gist, which was one of their fountain pens. This is a Mont Blanc 146. And then finally, I have a pen which is an exclusive to a US retailer that I'll be reviewing here in the very near future, which is the Sailor Pro Gear Blue Cobra. I actually have the standard Pro Gear as well as the Pro Gear Slim that I'll be reviewing, and look forward to checking those out, but that's what it looks like in comparison to the Stealth. I mentioned the card that it came with. This is the card. I really like it, and I think what really makes it cool is not only is its unique text, but then also these little holes. I just love these little holes in there, and I just think that's a lot better than having a little paper manual. It's something really cool and special. Okay, so in regard to a writing sample, we have the Tactile Turn, Stealth. And the refill on this was the Pilot G2, and it was a 0.7 millimeter, and this is a gel, which is one of my favorite refills. And I much prefer a gel ink to a rollerball or a ballpoint. And there you see, it writes just fine. So here we have the Tactile Turn Stealth. I think the Tactile Turn has done a really good job with their seasonal releases. Each one has been unique and different and brings something new to the table, and I feel that the Stealth is no different and well worth checking out. Okay, until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.